Okay.
Okay, you want me to get started?
Yeah.
Okay, Byron, what we're going to do today is like Susan mentioned sports. So what we're doing, interviewing different people regarding their athletic ability and their achievements in sports. So we got excited when we because we want to talk to you about
Okay.
your sports abilities and everything. And we also want to talk to your mom as well. So I'm going to start off with you and just ask you some questions. Then I'm going to bring your mom in towards the end. Is that okay? We want to do it that way?
Oh, yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Uh, Byron, this is my question. I want to know about your childhood, about growing up. So I want to know what sparked your interest in sports as
Uh,
a child.
I want to just say, I remember just growing up on Templeton, well, over there next to the middle school. Just remember
Uh huh.
playing little league football, going to the high school games when they used to play at the middle school before at GHS. Just seeing all the cars lined up inside in front of the house, walking up, seeing the Greenville Lions play as a kid, and
Mm-hmm.
when the game is going on, the kids used to play football off to the side. So like
Mm-hmm.
those little times back then kind of sparked my interest of playing, and then getting into the Boys and Girls Club and playing youth football as a kid and playing for the Raiders. That was always fun, and that's what kind of sparked my interest of playing football.
Oh, okay. Okay. Uh, Now, this is a question I'm going to ask you about your mom. Tell me
Okay.
about your mom, is how she influenced you, because a lot of time mom as mothers we get a little panic, we don't want our children to get hurt. So tell me how your mom responded to your interest in sports.
Oh, she responded well. She signed us up for it, signed me up for it growing up. And she always told me, if
Uh-huh.
you're going to do it, at least give it y'all and don't be lazy doing it. So it just gave us something to do to get out the house, keep us active.
Uh-huh.
She was very supportive from way back. I can remember, back in my youth league all the way into my pro career.
Oh, okay. That's wonderful. That's so good to hear. Um, you mentioned the Boys and Girls Club. I think it's a great club here in Greenville. But is there a particular coach, either particular leader that stand out or encourage you during your developmental years?
Oh yeah, Coach Gilbert. I had Coach Gilbert, Spence Gilbert, when I was, just a little kid. He coached me in little league, and he coached me in high school when he came back to
Wow.
Greenville before he left to go coach off in Dallas. But
Uh-huh.
Coach Gilbert and those little things we would have as a kid, where they used to call it the circus when you had bad grades, you had to bring your report
Hmm.
card to them, and if you had good grades, they reward you. And if you didn't, you had to do like log rolls or you had to, run a lot of bear crawls. I remember those times as a kid
Uh-huh.
going to the circus. But Coach Gilbert and just the whole, Boys and Girls Club staff, we had everybody I played club ball with, they all were from Greenville. And just get to play with them from little league all the way up into high school. Just some of my fondest memories.
Oh, how wonderful. Um, when you said your fondest memory, what I thought about when you see your name on the marquee and you have made that touchdown and your mom is in the audience. Tell me what you're thinking. What were you thinking?
Oh, just a proud moment,
Uh-huh.
just being from the 903 and just know all the things I might have accomplished, but I understand life is bigger than me. And I was always taught the last name on the back of the jersey. So I'm representing more than just Byron. So I had to understand
That's one.
representing my mother, father, brothers, family
Mm-hmm.
members, so just a good honor and just representing the whole town of Greenville. I just
Oh,
it's
that's
something that
wonderful.
I take very good pride in, and I'm just happy to put our name out there and on the map.
That made me feel so warm when you said that, and I thought about they gave you so much advice and they were so supportive. Did you have a one thing, one advice, or one thing that someone told you that still stand with you right to this day? One of the coaches taught you or something.
Um, I want to say my line coach
Uh
and
huh.
in high school, Coach Dracos. He always just told me not to give up. Just chase
Mm-hmm.
your dreams and work hard at it. And
Mm-hmm.
as a 35-year-old man, and back then, just a kid, I still stay in contact with Coach Dracos, and you'll still think he's still talking to that 15-year-old, back at GHS. But
How neat.
just him just staying on me and wanted to see my potential as, from back in '07 all the way to now, this even getting in this position. I think those little things is not giving up, work hard, and just try to outperform your opponent. I think those are the things that stick with
That's I love it. I love it. When you said outsmart your opponent, but let's talk about that for a minute. There's a high when you get the ultimate goal, but sometimes there's the agony too. So when the agony come down, you have to try harder to get that high again. Tell me what is that experience like
me.
when you get the agony?
Yeah, I mean, in this profession, really, I always have to remind myself this is really a kid's game. We played
Mm-hmm.
this game as a kid, and it's just checker pieces moving on the board. But it's also that the other side of it is competitive, and you don't want to lose that edge of playing the game of football. It's a physical sport, but never getting too lost in the highs and never getting too low on the lows, trying to find that middle ground. And every it
Mm-hmm.
might not be your day that week, but just going back to the drawing board, seeing what you did, wrong or right, and correcting it, building the things you do right and the things you do wrong, correcting them. So going into the next week, that's the beauty about football.
Uh-huh.
You might
I
lose a
mean,
game, but next week you got another opponent on the schedule, and all is forgotten once you win. So
I like that. The next week is another opponent. I like that. Um, I want to go to the pros. I mean, I'm skipping college. I know college is great, but just go to the pros just for a minute. I've heard so much that when the guys are signing their contract, they feel like they've not been representative as well as they should have been represented. Do you feel like you was fair when you signed your contract to play with the professional teams?
oh yeah, yeah, it was very fair.
Mm-hmm.
I'm honored and blessed just to even be in that position to even get a contract. So I try not to, I know life is all about dollars and cents and you can get caught up in all that. But I think
Mm-hmm.
the biggest thing for me, any contract that was presented to me, it was a blessing. And I try to use that just because it springboarded me and just to play good football. And I think every contract I ever received is because I was playing good ball. And I think the better I was playing, the more money or less money, however you want to look at it, I was going to make. But just the
Mm-hmm.
ultimate goal of just making it to that profession and and just being there, I knew that if
Uh-huh.
I stayed to my base principles, that no matter the dollar amount of cent, if I just play good football, I'll be good.
I love it. You're so grounded. This is such a good conversation because you still go back to family. You still go back to your growing up and the stability. I thank you so much. Often players brag about their mothers. You see guys, I love you, mom. I love you, mom. You see that all the time when you're watching television. Because I see it from the television. Uh, discuss the importance of families, especially moms, when you managing finances and when you signing contract. How much influence do moms have?
Oh, a lot of influence, just saying, especially my mother in particular, just raising all four of us. And then on top of that, had a friend live with us and, never seen her, maybe bend but never break and just staying on us and keeping us out the way and right from wrong. And, mama, she going to tell her how it is, don't do this or do that. And she finds everything out. So it was just one of those things that keep you grounded and balanced. And I think with that, those life lessons kind of get you to this point here today.
This is so. I just love this. Um,
Can
I
I
just
ask
have a
what
few more.
did can I ask
Uh,
one question? I was wondering, what did you feel when you first got signed by the Panthers? Kind of what went through your mind?
Uh, a lot of I knew at that time because I didn't get drafted.
Mhm,
I didn't know what to expect. I knew I was happy to sign my contract. I think when reality hit me is when I made the team, and
mhm,
it's like, all right, Byron, you're here, but now how do you sustain this feeling? Going from playing at the University of New Mexico, now going to the Carolina Panthers, now playing with the number one overall pick Cam Newton, and seeing guys that I looked up to as a young kid like Steve Smith and John Beeson and Jeremy Shockey. I'm in the locker room with some of the best players that ever played this game.
mhm.
How do I adapt my game to fit in with these guys? But it was just a feeling that, and I'll never forget when I made the team. It's just those bond memories where it hits me. It's like, wow, I'm a Carolina Panther playing for one of the
Mhm.
biggest teams in the National Football League.
Did you have, like, while you were playing, especially the early years, did you have like a mentor on the team or a player that really kind of helped you step up your game and everything?
Oh yeah. Oh man, Jordan Gross and Travell Ward, and those. I mean, Gross was in his what 13th year, 12th,
Mm-hmm.
12th or 13th year. Took me under his wing. Used to call me little bro. He used to call me Eeyore for whatever reason. I'm like, Gross, I'm not depressed, but it was just because I was quiet. And he kind of took me under his wing. Under his wing, he taught me about getting a financial advisor, how to manage my money, how to stay in the weight room, doing things without being told, how to film study, taught me how to, be a pro pretty much, like how to
Yeah.
take care of your business
Um,
with, you can play good football, but how do you go about your day-to-day living at
Uh-huh.
this profession? Not because a lot of guys get caught up in it and they, play a year or two, but how to sustain that success throughout,
Right.
a long NFL career.
Mm-hmm.
mhm. I don't think I haven't touched on was injuries. I don't know about injuries, but sometimes injuries they do cut your sports time. What about a backup plan? That's what I want to touch on: injuries and a backup plan.
Oh yeah, in 2000 and what's that? 2016, I think. Yeah,
Hmm
2016. I had I broke my fibula, dislocated my ankle, had a surgery, and at first I thought
hmm
that was the end of my career. I remember just thinking
hmm
back like, well, I made it this far, I'm happy, but good rehab, and I done well with my finances. Where the good Lord tacked on 2 more years where I got to sign with the Cowboys and I got to play for the Green Bay Packers and start. Just staying grounded within knowing who I was, rehab and getting back right. And then just after football, just knowing having a plan B, going back to school, finishing up my undergrad and getting into coaching and earn my master's degree. It's just those little things that kind of got me to here at the University of Illinois coaching. So just kind of staying grounded within the game and it just, look at those things. It could knock you out, but just it's a lesson within everything you do in each season of your life.
That's cool. So now you get to be a mentor to other students.
100%.
Cool.
hmm
How was the
Um,
when you played? I know you played for four different teams. When you transitioned from one to the other, was there anything? What did you have to do differently, or what did you bring from as you went from one to the other? How that's got to be hard.
Uh, Everybody asks me that, and I think I used to see some guys that was in on one team for a long period of time. It's not saying they were miserable, but I think for me it was always awesome because I got to meet a number of different guys from different backgrounds, different schools, different walks of life that you can call friends today. And just being in a locker room, protecting arguably some of the best quarterbacks in the world, from Cam Newton all the way to Aaron Rodgers. I got a chance to befriend these people, and it's just one of those things where you learn your life lessons as a young player. And by the time I get in my 8th year in the league, I'm 30 years old. I've learned a lot when I was a 22, 23-year-old as my rookie year going into my 8th season, how to attack each day. And then I can give that game off and that knowledge and the nuggets to the younger guys. How did I sustain this long in the National Football League? Because it's a hard profession. It's a hard business, and it's performance-based driven. If you don't perform well, they just replace you. And
Yeah.
that's one thing I learned every year. Is always a head coach getting let go or players letting let go, and how to sustain that success. Just being the same guy every day.
wow. Uh, Sandra, you have done a wonderful job. uh, Susan, do you have any other questions? I think it covered a whole lot.
Let's see.
I'm looking at the question.
Can you think of anything that you would like to share with others?
I think one thing I would like to share with others is if you have a goal and a dream or any aspiration to do anything in life, whether that's be a national football player, NBA star, a doctor, a lawyer, a police officer, whatever it is, just attack it and don't ever let anyone tell you that you can't do it. If you just put the work in, study, just stay on top of everything, and just once you know how to be self-driven and put your blinders on, run your race, and let your life be your life. Stay prayerful and take advice, good and bad. Just listen to it, soak it in, be a sponge, and just apply it. It's, a lot of us we get lost in this sometimes where we hear these things but we don't apply it. And sometimes you don't want to hear certain things. I know I didn't want to hear it, but sometimes those are things you really need to hear. That's where it propels you to the places you want to go. Mm-hmm. So I just say stay grounded. Whatever your goals are, go get it. Mm-hmm. And everything is possible with prayer and just your attitude and your effort.
Mm-hmm. One other I thought of real quick was, what was your favorite play that you ever did?
I want to say we played the Arizona Cardinals in the divisional round playoffs in 2014 at home. And Fozzie Whitaker, I could find the clip. Fozzie Whitaker called a screen pass. This was on ESPN, called a screen pass. And I was one of the lead blockers. I got to hit Patrick Peterson from the left side, Fozzie Whitaker up the sideline, touchdown. That's probably one of the best memories of my
life. That's great.
Awesome.
I have one, right, just a wrap up question. You mentioned that you're a coach right now in high school and you're a mentor to the younger people. What do you see in your future?
Right now I'm coaching at the University of Illinois. We're having a great season. We're the 24th ranked team in the country right now, 25th in the college football playoffs. And one of the best experience, I got to coach for 2 years. I'm coaching a guy named J.C. Davis, probably going to be one of the best offensive tackles coming out of this year's NFL draft. He came with me over from New Mexico, and this has been a great experience working for Coach Bielema. The offensive line coach, Bart Miller, I worked closely with, that we were former college teammates. So it's kind of cool working with him that we were college teammates. We were peers then, now we're, peers now, and we're working together in the coaching aspect. So we got to play with each other. Now we get to coach with one another. And this is one, and we both come under the same coaching tree from Coach Lensmeyer, who got us both into coaching. So it's kind of neat coaching with Bart and getting to see these young guys and them coming up to me, asking me for advice, whether they want to be in the Q Dog, want to be an Omega Man. So I give them advice about that, or whether they just want to strive on to play in the National Football League. The things I was learning, I can give it off to them, whether it's finding an agent and work ethic, or even school. I think a lot of us get lost in that. Like we see that football aspect of things, but they're here to go to school first. So just give them the knowledge of just, hey, if I can graduate with a such and such GPA, so can you. You know what I mean? So stay on top of your books in the football aspect to take care of itself.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. What I'm going to do is just touch base with your mom real quick. Sandra, thank you so much for making arrangements for us to talk to your son. And as he talked, I'm so proud of you. And, Byron, I see your mom with the children today at church, and she has them under control. And mentioned control.
I know that.
Sandra, my question to you is... my question to you is...
Hold on. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Well, somebody's coming over here, so I had to mute because she might come.
Okay. Okay. So I've just been talking for 5 minutes. I've been bragging on you, but I'm not going to do it again. But anyway, Sandra, maybe the disappointments, sometimes, boys get a little too carried away with all their sports activities and things. Any disappointments that Byron may have shown you? Was he very competitive and you had to slow him down?
No, to be perfectly honest, no.
No, okay. No. Okay then.
Listen, they probably, my boys even to this day think I'm like still tell them stuff. I mean, like they little kid, really bad. I mean, I still I'm still the mama.
Yes, because you order us around, Sandra.
So yeah. So you see me at church.
Yeah. My other question is, how would you describe yourself? Are you the number one cheerleader? Do you? If I know you are, but because you are, do you have a special cheer? What do you do that's special so they can get your attention when they're on the field? When Byron's on the field.
First of all, Byron's not paying me any attention while he's on the field. He's not paying anybody any attention. I'm a yeller. Like I'm gonna yell, and I'm just the typical fan. I mean, I was telling him the other day, he don't even play for University of New Mexico anymore. But I still follow the University of New Mexico. And you would have thought I was on the field. I'm in this house screaming and carrying on. I know the player. So yeah. I don't do no cussing, do all of that. But I'm a fan of the sport.
I know a lot of mothers. I know because I have brothers who play sports. I was always worried they was going to injure themselves. How were you responding to injuries and different things such as that?
Well, I played sports my whole life, and so I understand that just kind of come with it. Try your best to take care of yourself, but stuff. It's open. I knew she would show up as soon as it's open. Hold on a minute.
Okay. Well, we'll give you a break.
My section said, just come in, the door's open. Girl, I was driving probably by the end. Oh, okay. I didn't get to mute you. Hello.
Hi.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Toodles. Sorry, y'all. I knew she was coming.
That's okay. Okay. I just have a couple more questions as a mom. How were you able to balance academics and sports? Because the no pass, no play, and also as mom, we want to have a backup plan. How were you able to balance that?
To be perfectly honest, they wouldn't even have to make that rule for this household. I mean, that
I know.
If you don't pass, you just don't play. That would have been our rule anyway. Because there's really no reason to go to school and not pass. I mean, there's no reason to go to school, not go to class. You know what you're at school for. And to be respectful to our teachers. I mean, they have a job and don't call me up to the school.
Yes.
It's just
okay. Now I'm curious. How many times were you called up to Byron school?
You know what? To be honest, I don't really remember by getting into having issues at school. I just remember like maybe in junior high or something like that. I remember he had to go to Saturday school. I don't know if he can remember it, but I remember I made him walk. Because Saturday was my day. So that's when we lived on Sunset, and I told him, get on the tracks and walk up to Houston School. I mean, walk the track to Walnut Street. I mean, I wasn't in trouble. He was. And wasn't no reason for me to be up. I don't ever really remember him going to Saturday school or none of that. And see, Bob was kind of spoiled at school too. Coaches and teachers really liked him a lot. It was Seth that I
That's good.
Had problems with, but I didn't really have too many issues with Bob.
That is so good. Gosh. I'm gonna move on to a pro because like most moms, we want to know we want to get involved. And he touched base on this when we were talking a few minutes ago. But was it difficult for you to work with agents and the owners and the coaches regarding the negotiating the contracts and things like that? Because most moms want to be involved in the whole process.
You know what? I really wasn't as involved with the process because Bob is very smart. He was taught. Like, all of my boys were just taught growing up how to manage money, et cetera, et cetera. And I just really remember and met one agent, Brian. I think that wasn't that the same by the first guy, Brian. And Brian was, to me, kind of pushy. And when Bob got rid of him, Brian was trying to really get me on his team, which no, Bob made the choice and obviously it was a good one because he stayed 8 years. I don't know if he would have been there that long if he would have stayed with Brian. So he know how to make good decisions really on his own without me. I'm just gonna be the prayer warrior and Stay accountable.
Okay.
If I see any of my kids to this day making a choice that I don't feel like it's right, I'm gonna comment. I won't tell you what to do, but I will make some suggestions.
Hmm. That is so great. That is so great. Uh, one other thing, I just want to ask you about. You see young people and you work with young people. What advice are you giving them if those young kids, females or male, are interested in sports? What are some of the advice you're giving them? Because we see Byron, he's great. What advice are you giving the next generation?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna have to go with the kids at my church because I
Hmm.
played, like I said, I played volleyball, I played basketball, ran track, I did it all.
Hmm.
You know what? The kids in my church, they look like cheerleaders and stuff like that. So
Uh-huh.
personally, I'm trying to swing them over to my side,
Okay.
So I'm not really giving them advice as much as I'm trying to get them to kind of go my way and really telling them some of the advantages that they could have if they work toward this sport in
Mm-hmm.
particular. Because I mean, how many cheerleaders get scholarships for college? I mean, that's what I
True.
mean.
That's
So,
true.
so I try to just kind of, like I say, get them to get involved in some sports, if because everybody can't afford college,
Hmm.
So get involved in some sports and work on it and get your scholarship.
Excellent. Excellent. Uh,
How did you feel when Byron first told you that he got signed by the Panthers?
Oh, honey, I, I'm going to be honest. I was very, 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 very excited. And I
uh-huh.
immediately started ordering me some gear. I did. I mean, I have tennis shoes. I still have stuff from each team. Yeah, I'm like you said, Miss Betty. I'm a fan. By's probably the biggest fan, but
Uh-huh.
yeah,
Number one cheerleader.
yeah. Green Bay was probably my favorite team. He was on Green Bay and Carolina,
Uh-huh.
but yeah. But no matter what team, I was a fan of that team as long as he was on the team.
Mhm. Wow, that is so great. What I can say for you, Sandra, Miss Bale, is a job well done. Thank you so much. Susan, I'm gonna hand it back over to you.
One other question. What has been your proudest moment of Byron?
This gonna be probably just so cliche, but the proudest moment, and Bob probably don't even know this, was probably when he went back to school.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times you see football players with all of their money and all of their things. One, he don't have things, you know, he don't he not flashy, he don't drive 10 cars. And he didn't go buy 10 cars. He still owned that one truck that he went out and bought when he played with Carolina. He still drive it. He take good care of it. In fact, I have a newer model car than my truck. You know, so I think just him going back to school, knowing how to save his money. He's working in Illinois, and he's working. He's not paying bills from the NFL. He paying bills from work.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know what I mean? He's normal, he's humble, he's down to earth, and that's just how it's supposed to be. God just wouldn't be pleased with him being in AA, you know?
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, he's not flashy. And I don't mean that in a negative way. He just, he's just by. He's humble. He do for others. I remember just him being in New Mexico, and this was before the NFL, and he was out helping the homeless. You see what I'm saying? He have that type of heart, and it's not even about the money because he didn't have any, but he was still out helping. So it's just that hard.
That's awesome.
Beautiful. Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I don't even know if I knew that, but just proud of.
That's wonderful. Yeah.
See, the only other thing I can think of is as we get closer to putting this exhibit together, I would love it if we could borrow some pictures, or if you had a jersey or something that you guys had that we could borrow for the exhibit. And I can let you know when it gets closer when it's going to happen. It'll be sometime next year. We've got some other interviews to do as well. But we do both the exhibit and we tie in some of the interviews. And then we also post these the programs on our YouTube channel. The museum actually has a YouTube channel, so it's really cool. And we love doing this every year. Definitely want to thank both of you guys for taking your time to do this. Is there anything else either of you can think of that you wanted to say?
No, but I really appreciate y'all giving by this opportunity. Not really us. I mean, it means a lot, because like I told him earlier, I could ask anybody. So, that means a lot. Awesome. Thank you, Miss Betty, Miss Susan.
Yes, I can't brag enough on you. I'm always bragging on you. You've done a wonderful job. Wonderful mother.
I appreciate both of you guys, Miss Betty, Miss Susan. I just appreciate y'all taking the time out to interview me. I'm excited for everything that's happening at Hunt County and in Greenville itself, and the museum, everything. This is awesome, and proud of where I'm from. Can't change that. I love Greenville.
You're gonna have to go out there when you come.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, next time I come back to Greenville, I'm gonna come hang out and come see y'all.
Yeah.
It'll be awesome.
And you look at the Facebook page as well. Audie Murphy Cotton Museum is a Facebook page. You see a lot of information there. You can see some old interviews. Oh,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we got Facebook page, website, the whole 9 yards. The only thing I haven't started doing is Instagram, mostly just because of time.
Okay. That's where you might want to go.
I need to do it. I need to do it. It seems like all the younger people are on Instagram nowadays. So,
well, Miss Susan, you just let me know what you need. I have jerseys. I have mini helmets. Well, by now I got stuff.
Okay.
Awesome.
It's
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you guys. Betty, is there anything else you got?
No, I just love the interview. Thank you so much.
Cool.
Well, thank y'all for having us.
Man.
Bye, you must be at work. I'm looking.
Yeah, I'm about to.
Okay.
They got a meeting. We got a big game this weekend.
Okay, then we didn't hold you too long.
I already talked to Coach about it. We good.
All right. Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. And have a great Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yes, ma'am.
Y'all too. Back at you. Just touch base with me. You have my number, and let me know when you need me to bring whatever. Want me to bring.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you guys.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye, Byron.
Bye.
Good night.
Night.